Today, we will talk about the specific portion of determining what you love in the Ikigai, and there are going to be 7 tests by which you can determine exactly what you love. So, just a repetition from yesterday, there was this image that we had presented, a recap. The red circle that you see over here is exactly what we are going to be talking about. Okay, so there are 7 things that I would like to cover today. The first one being that track your energy, look at what you do when no one is watching, notice what you explain without being asked, revisit childhood and curiosity, separate love from validation, would I still care in 10 years, and the final litmus test. These 7 are what we are going to look into more detail on the next slides. So moving on forward, first one is track your energy. So, in order to be able to find what you exactly love, it is not about how much time you're spending on it, but does it give you positive energy by the time that you're done? Is it draining you? Did time pass without you even noticing where it went? And if those are the things that you should be tracking during the course of the day or at the end of the day, you should be able to fill that out. Or over the course of a week, try to look back and see what activities actually gave you the energy and which ones drained you. Second one is look at what you do when no one is watching you. Like it's not for anybody else, but it's what are you doing in your own time? Are you repeatedly watching some specific YouTube videos? Are you reading the same kind of books? Are you doing some activity which you like fun, like for example, journaling, planning, teaching, or just building anything with Lego, for example? Because repetition reveals your love, and if something is pulling you back again and again, it does reflect that your mind if wants to focus and spend the time doing it, and hence it matters for you. So please be aware of those activities which you are doing again and again. That's the second one. The other way that you can find your what you love is that what do people reach out to you for? Like what do folks say that okay, can you explain me with this, or can you help me out with this, or what do people naturally reach out to you for seeking advice on a topic? That's the thing that is basically what your exact love is. So sometimes you have to sometimes you are oblivious to the fact that you don't know what that is. But if you do a certain exercise, I went through a recent exercise, I can share some thoughts. If you want some more details around that, I can also share a little questionnaire. You can ask the people that you know around you who can give you some guidance and advice as to what are those things that you are probably blindsiding yourself. One of the other things is that you should be able to determine what you used to think about in your childhood. What were those early curiosities that used to come to your mind without any judging? What was it when you didn't have money or status, when you didn't have anybody to call you out if it was possible or not possible? What kept you thinking? This is very important to determine where is your actual love, because over the course of the years, we start getting into the part of the possible and the not possible and limitations that are set on to us by society for different reasons. Think beyond that and try to visualize that. And though this video is not sponsored by Nano Banana, it's a Gemini AI tool, but I do want to mention that it is a very effective tool that you can use for your visualization purposes. For example, if there are those things that you want to write down and you put it into Gemini, that generate me an image for that, it'll create your visualizations, it'll bring them to reality. So maybe that is something which you also want to do for yourself. I have talked about visualization in the past and the power of visualization. So maybe you want to capitalize on that as well. The other one is the separating your love from validation. Sometimes we start confusing uh, things that we get praised for, and but and sometimes we start thinking that what the society is rewarding us with is actually what we love, but that may not be love. There is a fine line between love and validation. Are you doing something for the validation of the people around you? Is it for your friends? Is it for your company where you work? Would you continue to do that piece of work even if there was nobody to validate or praise you for that? So if that is where you want to deep dive and think, this is really what I want to do. Like for example, if there was nobody watching this video, I would still produce it because it is not for somebody's validation that I create these videos. It is for my own self well-being that I like to create these videos because I feel that they are useful or they should be useful. So, and even if there was nobody watching them, I would still continue producing them. So something of that effect you have to think about. Uh, the other very important test, or sixth test, is that given at any given point in time, would you still care about this in 10 years from now? Um, if there was, would you still enjoy learning about this in 10 years? Would I regret not exploring this deeply? If the answer is yes, it's not a phase. It's something that you want to explore in more detail. So, like this, and there's a slight typo there, and that is maybe Nano Banana is probably not perfect in its image generation right now, but still, still does a pretty good job. So lifelong is love is a lifelong journey of discovery. That is what you want to do. Um, be sure that in thinking in your mind, is this something which I will continue to do, or would I like to do this in 10 years? If it is a yes, then of course that is a true love. If not, then you have to rethink about that as well. The final litmus test is the question, and it's a very important question. And this question was actually asked by a very good friend of mine, and he said that if money was not an issue, how would you spend your time? And this is what you really need to think about. What happens in this particular question, and it is the last one, is that you start limiting your responses by your current circumstances or limitations that have evolved over the course of the years. That is where you have to go out of that box and think outside that box that, what is it that I would like to do if money, there's a slight out of the box thinking over here that you need to apply, and you have to ask yourself, what would I do if money was not an issue? However imperfect it may be, that response, and it's not a one-time exercise that you do it once and then you will get the answer. So it has to be done multiple times. And this whole exercise has to probably be done multiple times in order to get to the exact answer. But having said that, whatever the answer that comes out for you, that is pointing you towards the direction of what is it that you actually love. So anyway, we will conclude with this seven tests that you can do in order to determine and establish for yourself what you love. If you have any challenges in working around this, please feel free to reach out and more than glad to help. And thank you for watching today. Thank you.